Oh, we have a Otherkin, Animal People Otherkin Therian documentary. Okay. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ride or die, boys. Ride or die. We're doing it. Fuck it. We're doing it. Otherkin documentary. What does that say? Like, sub, think? I don't like that at all.
What would you do if you felt you had been born into the wrong species?
When I started feeling that I was non-human, I was around 10 or 11.
Okay, so like, even though this is not specifically about mermaids, I feel like we're going to hit a lot of the same metrics. We're going to hit a lot of the same things, a lot of the same observations. Travis says, it said, thanks.
An increasing number of people believe they are more animal than human.
I would definitely say that I have species dysmorphia.
When they say there's an increasing number of people, what do they mean? Like 4 of them? Like 4 people? As opposed to 2 people? 5 people as opposed to 3? 10 people as opposed to 4? Come on.
I have these hands in this body, but internally, I am a leopard.
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
Oh my.
Joined by a belief system and a growing internet presence, these people are meeting and forming relationships.
We are raccoon and leopard. There's not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Primal instincts take over, and before you know it, you're clawing and biting your other half to pieces and wondering why the both of you are enjoying it so much.
For the first time,
This is just a step towards like fucking animals. That's all it is. These people just haven't admitted that's what they want. But these guys, they're like, hell yeah. We're just like you. We're just like you, Marmaduke.
we are welcomed into the world of human animals.
I began to get concerned because it sounded like almost like mental illness to me. My child telling me that he's half animal.
These are paperworks for my name change.
And you would be right. You would be correct. And maybe you should get like more involved in what they're doing on the internet. Maybe peek in every once in a while. I don't know. I don't want to push.
Change to my wolf name, which is Shiro Wolf.
I think I'm an animal.
What's he dressing up like?
In our changing world, a new subculture of humanity is evolving. These people don't believe that they are human at all. Identifying with a particular species, they are collectively known as Otherkin and Therians. Some choose to dress up as the species they think they are. Otherkin and Therians live all over the world and share one common...
Hagber says, remember when they used to prefer lobotomy? Yeah. Remember in the 50s, the golden age of mental health? We've all seen Shutter Island, I assume.
belief. They think they are animals.
No, they don't actually think that. They're trying to see if you'll indulge them. That's actually what's going on. They don't actually think they're animals. They want to see how many people will indulge in their delusional behavior. A masterful troll.
People ask me, well, do you ever get sick of it? Do you ever get sick of thinking about it? Do I ever get sick of thinking about my elbow? I don't really have to think about it. It's just there. It's just a part of who you are.
Caleb Carges lives on the outskirts of Buffalo, New York. He is not your usual teenager.
My species is, well, definitely a wolf. Lately, I've been leaning more towards red wolf specifically.
Travis says, I'll reconsider One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest after this. Well, yeah, if they were doing that, it would be having done some good. Get this guy a Nurse Ratched.
Only because the type of environments I like, but also because of the way I act. If I could look in the mirror and choose what I saw, I would see an anthropomorphized version of myself that was half wolf, half human.
Caleb is part of the growing phenomenon of people who believe in some way that they are an animal.
We believe that mentally, or at least cognitively, we are more connected with the animal side of ourselves than we are the human side of ourselves. And
Hagbert says, I had a teacher argue that Nurse Ratched was the heroine of the book. Maybe he was right. Well, is it Jack Murphy? Isn't that the name of Jack Nicholson's character? He was kind of a pederast. if you want to bring it to modern social mores, like he was talking about having sex with clearly underage girls, and the pathology of his influence, really fucking with the other people. Trami says the cockroach people don't get enough attention. It's all cutesy shit.
Whether that be just the way we try to act.
Randall P. McMurphy. Thank you. I can't believe I forgot that. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's good old High West. Good old High West making me forget.
In our life, or the way we try to communicate with the people we love or our friends, it's something that's very noticeable. It's something that needs to be constantly purged in your head, because you constantly have to realize, oh, that's right. I think differently.
Therians identify psychologically and spiritually with an animal. And since the age of 6, Caleb has believed he is a wolf.
I have a couple tails. This is the one that I've been wearing for the most part. It's a little bit less realistic. This one's a bit more cartoony, but I like it because it's easier to manage. I used to have
If you have the self-awareness, right? Like if you have the self-awareness to know that you have a prosthetic tail that you have to apply to yourself to act out a fantasy or delusion, then you know that you're not actually that thing. You know it. You know you're not actually that thing. Unless, I guess, he's got the Buddha here. Maybe he's going to get into some quasi-spiritualism. Some spiritual aspects, but like, I just feel it deep down inside. But if you can pull out old tails, like you swap out tails, then you know you're not really a wolf. You're not really an otherkin. That's how I would contest this, I suppose.
It was a decommissioned fursuit tail.
Travis says age 6. Yeah.
And it bothered the hell out of me because it was just inconvenient in every way. And this one's like a lot more cute and a lot more playful. So to go out in public with it, I think it fits a lot more. But it fits me and it fits my size and it has my colors. That's actually where I sleep. Right now there's a cat where I sleep. But normally that's where I sleep. And it's mostly computers in here actually. I like it quite a lot because it gets quite warm in here. And as a red wolf, I like warm temperatures.
Oh, thank God. Thank God you're not inconvenienced by the heat coming off of the computers that your parents bought for you. Travis says, no, I agree completely. Identity is not something you put on. Exactly. It's not a costume. It's not a costume. When people do this kind of stuff, they're appropriating something that they assume is an identifier of being that thing, right?
Caleb lives at home with Dad Jim, brother Chris, and his mom, Mary Ellen.
Who could have seen that coming?
Well, when you first told me about being a Therian, and you said you felt you were part animal, and you said to me, Mom, what you look at when you see me, this is not who I am. I'm actually somebody very different. I questioned if you were schizophrenic or mentally ill. And then when
you may want to keep asking those questions, Mom. You may want to delve a little deeper. Seems like they have a pretty nice house. This is the bourgeois fucking problems of the world. Honestly, I hate to put it that way, but it's kind of true. Trauma says, I feel so sorry for these parents. Yeah, because like this is like everybody's weakness. Like if you have a child, you understand how deep and dark this would be. Like you understand that. Like on a very just like a guttural level, on an emotional, genetic level. Like if your kid came to you and said that, like how would you deal with it? What would your process of rationalization be? Like, what would you do? And some people just fold. Some people just fold. Like, she had the right instinct. Well, maybe my son has schizophrenia. Maybe he's got, like, deeper problems. Or maybe he's, like, trolling his family. I don't know.
You told me that when I asked how long you had felt this way, and you told me it went all the way back to when you were around 6 years old, that you had been carrying this with you, that you really felt that part of you was this wolf.
Werewolves of
I've
London.
come to really accept it and support it. I get a little bit sad sometimes that Caleb is so involved in his own world that he seldom comes into our world.
Yeah, that's not healthy. That's not it's not something that's just like, oh well, I just don't understand him. He doesn't understand us. Systemic failure.
Caleb is not unique in his beliefs. He is part of a small Therian community of people in Buffalo. They include Stephen, a leopard, and Timothy, a raccoon. Together, they run an amateur radio show from his bedroom. It broadcasts to hundreds of people like them all around the world.
They just talk about how hard they come to furry porn.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is episode 102. I am your host of this evening, Paradox the Wolf.
I am your Blue Fox host, Pharaoh.
I'm your co-host in training, Shroud the Leopard.
I'm your guest, Minok the Raccoon.
All right, next email that I got here. Hey guys, my name is Kobe, and I am an orange, blue, and white male German Shepherd. I am also bisexual, and I am 19 years old, and I'm having some huge...
I'm also bisexual. Oh, yeah, because dogs operate that way. Animals operate that way in the same spectrum that we do. So this is totally on the up and up. Totally not has anything more to say. Not anything deeper. Oh, no. I'm a bisexual German Shepherd. I'm a bisexual German Shepherd. Don't you get it? Trump says also he gets social leverage towards them by intentionally rejecting their norms because they have no recourse and have to yield. Yeah, 1,000%. Some of this is definitely attention getting. It's for their attention. But when they indulge in it, this is what happens. They got 4 of these dudes in a house talking to other people that they don't know, strangers on the internet, could be predators. We don't know, right? Talking about how they're bisexual German Shepherds.
Huge issues with my parents in relation to being Therian. Is there any help explaining this to them?
How did you do it?
I don't even remember.
Oh.
I just pulled down my pants and I started jerking off and I just said, I'm a leopard.
I barely touched on it because my parents just didn't care. My mom just wanted me to be safe. My dad said that I could have whatever beliefs I wanted as long as I wasn't hurting anyone.
Oh, you had it
myself.
easy too.
Yeah, it was easy.
When my mother found out, she asked me if she had done anything wrong as a parent. and I was like...
And we're all like sitting here watching this being like, yeah, I think so. I think maybe slightly, maybe just a tad.
No.
My parents always think, the live and let live type, as long as you're happy kind of people.
Right.
So as far as how I had to do it, it's not like I could offer advice from my personal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy sounds like he's mildly autistic. Which is fine, by the way. I'm not saying that's a dog on him. I'm saying that because just like you can't just like indulge in the whims of people that maybe are a little askew. Is it healthy? Is this a healthy community? Is this a healthy thing to engage in? You got a kid here with a fucking dog collar on who calls himself a leopard. Do leopards wear collars? Come on now. Trami says, I think they got a point. The point around the time I put that fox-tailed butt plug up my ass. Okay, you're a fox. We get it. Please stop. Big Paul says, I had to break away during Seattle. I come back and now we're talking about bisexual German Shepherds. What in the actual fuck? Oh yeah, Nightcap always gives more than what you're expecting.
Because I had it easy.
Caleb and his friends are fortunate that they are content feeling like animals. For others, though, this is not the case.
Day-to-day life at school was a living hell in every sense of the word.
Like, for the longest time, it seemed like nobody was there.
Trami says, you try to put a collar on a leopard and I'll scoop up the remains for you for burial. Yeah, exactly. So maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just not totally on the up and up, even in their own conceptualization of what animal behavior is. Maybe because they're like 17. Brunswick, Georgia.
These are some of my wolf shirts. I've got probably over 50. This is my absolute favorite of them all, and it's one of my newer ones. It's got like the wolf and the moon, and it's the full body wolf, and it's purple. I just love it. It's beautiful.
18-year-old Matthew Schimmel lives in Brunswick, Georgia.
That's my diploma from when I graduated high school, and they had actually put Wolfie on the side of it. This is really cool. This, when I turn it on, it'll sound like a waterfall light up and the wolf will howl. It's getting there.
Yeah, this is an autistic kid. This is an autistic kid they've put on display and who has been indulged in a unhealthy behavior. This is not a good way to learn how to cope. And it's not like, like maybe he saw something on the internet or he watched a video or whatever, and it made him feel this way. He identified with it. He wanted to find a community. He wanted to fit in. And this is what we see so many times with these communities. Like, people want community. They want to be part of something. They want to be part of a group. And they'll do a lot to feel normal. They will. A lot of people will. It's a very normal human instinct. And when you have some people that are like, have autism or some sort of mental instability, it just exacerbates that. Because they can't find community or parity anywhere else. Trami says, I started drinking instead.
So yeah, I've always loved this one.
It is not just wolf memorabilia that sets Matthew apart from other teenagers.
In a personal, integral, and non-physical level, I am a wolf. It's very spiritual for me. I believe I have the spirit of a wolf. It's also very psychological. I behave like a wolf. I feel when I refer to myself, I am a wolf. Basically, other than the fact that I have a human body and human flesh, I am a wolf. I can't really give you a number of how many Therians are out there. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands in communities that I know about. And
hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands. Holy shit. Well, I guess we should, we got to start guarding ourselves. We got to start protecting ourselves against the incoming wolf pack.
That I'm a member of. Obviously, there's wolves. I'm a wolf. You know, cats, foxes, domestic cats, tigers, lions, flies. I've met, believe it or not, several insects.
Prof says, I believe I behave like a wolf. Press X to doubt. X. Yeah, while he's pouring his juice, perfect freeze frame for that. While he's pouring his fucking Lipton iced tea, his Lipton green tea, I act just like a wolf. Look at me now, pouring my Lipton green tea, like a wolf coming to water.
To myself, I see a black wolf on all fours walking. And that's how I want to be pictured a lot of times, because that's what I am, you know. You see me as this person, and I see myself as a wolf.
Growing up and believing something that no one else could see meant that
slamming down a fucking a tombstone pizza. Just like a wolf out in the wild. Just like a wolf out in the wild preparing its food.
That Matthew had a tough time at school.
Day to day.
Oh, do you think maybe that's some of the root of this? Like Matthew mayhaps been looking for a way to differentiate himself from the people that rejected him, was way too online, was way too fucking online, like a lot of kids are, like a lot of teenagers are, and found this as a way to cope with the rejection. Because obviously we have like an autistic kid here, probably wasn't treated very well at school. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. Probably wasn't. Kids are very cruel. Kids are not understanding.
Day life at school was a living hell in every sense of the word. The only reason I survived was because of my very few close friends who I am still fiercely loyal to this day. The same loyalty a wolf would have to his pack.
I was going to make a wolf pack joke, but he did it for me. Who could have seen that coming?
Home most of the time, and my mom's at home most of the time, so.
One of those loyal friends from school is Jade.
The first thing I noticed was the tail. It was the first thing I noticed about him. And then he had a wolf shirt on.
Jade is also a wolf and instantly bonded with Matthew due to their similar beliefs.
He was the one who actually brought up Therians. And at that time, I was still kind of new to the whole concept. Like, I knew that about, me being a wolf, but I didn't know the technical term for it.
We just hang out here, really.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to go.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. You can
quieter.
meditate here. No distractions from random people, It makes me feel more connected being here because this is where I'd kind of be, in my natural environment. Well, there's more spiders over there.
It means a lot to me that, he has included me in his pack and kind of taken me in. Because, like, for the longest time, it seemed like nobody was there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't normally get to do that.
It's a huge release.
Like, these are the kind of games you play when you're a kid, when you're like, 8, 9 years old. Like, you play games pretending you're an animal, pretending you're whatever. And, like, it's like they just never let go of that. I mean, this kid is clearly autistic. This kid is clearly autistic. This person, I don't know if they just feel ostracized and they want attention. So this was the most direct route. On a subconscious level, I don't think they do it on purpose. On a subconscious level, it's their most direct route to community, to a feeling of belonging. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's so much of what drives so many of these things, is the need to feel special, is the need to feel like an individual, while at the same time rejecting the concept of individuality. It's a very interesting dichotomy, and you see it quite a bit. You see it quite a bit when people have, misconceptions or confusions about their own identities.
Because you kind of have to bottle so much up inside when you're certain places, and you can just let it all out.
Not only
I'm just waiting for that Paul Bunyan guy from Animal Passions to come in. Just show up somewhere. Like, oh my God, what a turn on. We call them orgasms.
To America, people who identify with animals live all over the world. Ben and Kimberly live on a farm in West Sussex, in the remote countryside of England. They are one of the handful of Otherkin couples who are married.
So if you're an Otherkin couple and you're married and you have like a relationship and part of it's sexual, do you think they bring the dogs into it? I think it's definitely a possibility. Because they would see them as peers. They would see themselves as the same thing.
Our relationship with our dog is definitely a pack relationship, much like it is with any other.
Oh, just like a pack relationship. Oh, these people are definitely fucking this dog. They're definitely fucking their dog.
Dog, really, but I think in our case it helps a lot more that we're kind of a little bit attuned to maybe the way he's thinking. He's maybe a little bit attuned to the way we're thinking. It's kind of like having a little version of us.
Ben and Kimberly feel that they share their bodies with the spirit of a wolf.
This is the drawing of Ben and myself that my friend Lorna did.
My friend Lorna did this, and as you can see here, we're with our dog Toby. And our dog Toby is in sexual congress with us, because we're all the same.
Which, as you can tell...
I don't know why I did kind of an Australian accent there, but you know what I mean.
It's just absolutely beautiful. It's so nice to have a proper representation, like that I can say to people, okay, this is what we look like. Ben on the bottom there with the blue eyes. I'm the sort of ambery-eyed wolf with the horns. For my 21st birthday.
Some fan mail. Trami says, is being in a relationship like this a bit of a case of lock-in? Yeah, probably, to a certain degree, right? Just happy to find each other. Just happy to keep each other. Like I know you know nobody else will ever love you, you fucking weirdo. Yeah, a little bit. Like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's like a circular thing. I totally agree with that.
Say, I got a tattoo. Just sort of like a weird sort of silhouette of my wolf side. I love it. It's just very me, and I'll never regret it because it's my soul, basically, inked on my leg.
Ben and Kimberly have been together for 8 years and married for 2.
The second I saw him, I was just completely attracted to him, more than I had been ever attracted to anyone. It was pretty much instantaneous, you know. I just felt really drawn to him, and I made it my kind of mission to find out who this guy was and who his friends were, and I kind of maybe even stalked him a tiny bit by finding out.
Yeah. And she was like, and I wanted to know, what kind of dogs he was into. Oh, he was into fucking dogs. And I liked him so much, I kind of just went along with it. I wonder if that's what we're going to find out. Like, he was an Otherkin. She was so enamored with him that she also became an Otherkin.
Who his friends were and things like that, so...
Trami says, I will never regret it, quote unquote, is the kind of thing I've come to accept as only coming from stupid people. Hard agree.
A little bit creepy, but, it worked out well for me in the end.
There was just something about her that seemed right to me on a kind of a subconscious level at the time. And when we were together, we just clicked.
I need your help. All Otherkin and Therians have one thing that bonds them together. It's the very moment they realize they are an animal. This is a process called awakening.
Well, it came upon me around the age of 15, and as you can imagine, puberty being a difficult time for any teenager, and then you're having almost a whole nother puberty happen at the same time, and it's a frightening experience, lots of new sensations and feelings that you're having to deal with.
Kimberly discovered this as a teenager. However, for Ben, the catalyst for his awakening was meeting her.
She shared her experiences with me. She listened to me more than anything, which was amazing to have someone to talk to that didn't look at you like you were a complete weirdo, and she was just...
And she's like, don't you think you were a wolf? Don't you think you're really a wolf? You're saying a lot of things that are interesting, but don't you think you might be a wolf?
Just there for me, really. I've been very fortunate to have someone with me at all times throughout it.
Ben and Kimberly's wolf sides rarely appear. However, they often come out in the bedroom.
As teenagers are, we started dating and were very, eager, enthusiastic, and, the first couple of times we walked away with a couple of battle wounds, just sort of covered in bite and claw,
very intense.
Very intense,
and a little bit scary at times.
I think it's because neither one of us had ever been with another wolf. And
oh yeah, she was definitely tearing into this dude, and he doesn't know. He's like, yeah, it was very intense, because she was howling and scratching and biting.
I think it just
Travis says, called it, Shaun. Prophet says, imagine being civilized by the Romans only to end up here 2,000 years later. Yeah. I mean, the Romans had their own proclivities, their own problems. It's all just about opulence. It's about how comfortable as a society you are, how good you have it. How good you have it. When these are concerns, things start going bad. When you want to deconstruct culture into nothing, you start having problems. This seems like a historically proven phenomenon. Any great empire that starts engaging in basically social deconstructionism falls because you break social cohesion. There becomes nothing. There becomes nothing. Once it becomes mainstream, once it becomes something you push on everybody, problems start to arise.
It brought it out in each other.
Your primal instincts take over, and before you know it, you're clawing and biting your other half to pieces and wondering why the both of you are enjoying it so much. It's only afterwards when you step back and you think,
whoa, yeah,
what have we done?
Yeah.
You know, it all makes sense now.
For both of them, they see their wolf side as a separate creature. Their wolves have their own names, personalities, and feelings. Kimberly has named her wolf side Luna. Unlike others, she has the ability to change into her animal side and let Luna talk for herself.
Prophet says, gentlemen, I'm off to the great saltwater tank of my dreams. Good night, Prophet. Sleep well, and I'll talk to you Sunday. Everybody look forward to it. We're going to be talking about Brain Candy, the Kids in the Hall movie. Kids in the Hall movie and Day of the Dead, George Romero's last of his original trilogy. Those are all things coming up on Zoobox.
I normally don't let her speak because she has a bit of a mind of her own. All right, hello. Hello. Yeah, I don't get let out very often. I tend to have a bad habit of running my mouth a bit and saying things I shouldn't do, so
Oh, you don't
I tend
say.
to be kept a bit quiet. And caged is one way I tend to put it. I do.
By Kim.
By Kim, yeah. I kind of give her a bit of hell sometimes because she doesn't let me out as much as I should be let out. Unfortunately, she has main control over this body. I've got control over the dreams, so she doesn't really have a choice about what I do there. We've definitely lived quite a few lives together, and we've lived lives on the other place as well as here. I don't know what...
Oh, yeah, just totally normal stuff. So she has a dog that she thinks is actually her. And they have a symbiotic relationship in the sense that they split their life together. Hey, now.
At what point our souls became one, but I feel that it has always been that way, and it's probably that way for a reason. So perhaps there's something we need to achieve or we need to accomplish.
Ben and Kimberly fully accept that they have the spirit of a wolf within them. However, for Ben's mom, Sue, she is only beginning to understand her son's animal side.
I'm not saying all of my friends, but a lot of my cattle friends would think that completely bizarre. And they wouldn't even look any further than, you know, that the pair of them would need help.
Yeah, but what's wrong with thinking that these people need help? Like, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that assumption? Like, you don't need to placate them. You could say, like, I love you. You're my son. You're my daughter. Whatever. I'll always love you. But let's go talk to somebody maybe. Big Paul says, you know what? At least there were some merfolk worth looking at. These wolf folk, no dice. They're normies. They're normies. They're not beautiful Ariels.
Kimberly live on the farm with Ben's mom, Sue. She has only recently been told about the couple's wolf sides.
I don't think she was worried that she was going to get a bad reaction from me, but she's worried that, as Ben is, I think, that I'm going to think they're a little odd, you know. And they, you know, especially Kim, I mean, she's into all sorts of things, so it didn't really surprise me. But with Ben, it did a little. But Ben is a very deep guy, so a lot of the time I don't know what's going on in his head, really, so...
Sue has seen firsthand the impact that Kimberly has had on Ben.
I thought, really? And then I think you have sort of mixed emotions because you think, oh, where is it coming from? Is that something to do with me as a mum, you know.
Yes. Yes, it is, unfortunately. This is the thing all parents have to face, right? You have to understand that your kids are a product of the environment that you brought them up in, and the product of your influence. Or non-influence, in some respects. That doesn't mean you have control over everything. People go where they're going to go. Kids have proclivities. They go in directions you don't understand, aren't aware of. But you're definitely part of it. You're not some observing actor. Charlie said, can farmers in England get industrial-sized copium flasks? And Big Paul says, I just spit out my drink.
The couple are preparing for their annual Halloween party.
For my Halloween party, I'm making it look like kind of a abandoned asylum kind of thing.
They are not only fortunate to have each other, they also have a group of accepting friends.
Yeah, Josh was there when I awakened. Yeah, Josh was one of the few people I had to talk to about it.
It sounds really ridiculous, but it just came up in conversation. With certain circles, this stuff just comes up. You don't even expect it to come up, it'll just come up in conversation, and you're just like, yeah, sure, why not? On the internet, everyone is quite happy to talk about it. I guess it's a lot easier to talk about something when you don't have to stare someone in the eyes.
Ben is preparing to let his wolf side out as he dresses up as his favorite character, Wolverine.
I've chosen to go as Wolverine, one, because I like the character. I think he's fantastic. I've been a big fan of
I couldn't tell by your facial hair there, buddy.
the X-Men, and also I think probably on a kind of subliminal level to myself, because he somewhat matches my Otherkin side. I like his independence, his devil-may-care attitude, the fact that he's, you know, alone a lot of the time. He's a big, strong, powerful character. Slot in between Knuckles.
So they have such levels of self-awareness about why this develops in them and why they identify and why they think the way they do when it comes to like the surface level stuff, these surface level kind of intimations. But they have no regard for like anything deeper than that. Anything deeper than that. No introspection. I mean, maybe it's because they're so young. And people have just mollycoddled them up to this point. I don't know.
3 on each fist. Cheap, low budget.
The Halloween party allows the couple to dress up and express their animal sides. It provides a rare opportunity to celebrate this with their friends.
Yeah, it feels good to be Wolverine, you know, just kind of letting myself go.
See, this guy is not fully committed. He's not fully committed. Like, his girlfriend, now his wife, really was into this. Like, she was like, no, I'm a wolf. And he's, like, dressing up like a Wolverine at Halloween parties to cope with that. Like, to try to find a way in. To try to to make him feel like, yeah, I'm like that too. I'm like that too. I want to dress like Wolverine. Like, Wolverine's a comic book character, and you think you're a wolf. And you're your wife. Woo. Clearly has something else going on.
Beginning to get into character a little bit. Yeah, it's good.
I was going to say, 'cause I
18-year-old Matthew Schimmel believes that he is more wolf than human. While most teenagers his age enjoy hanging out at the mall, Matthew enjoys shopping at the local pet store.
I used to have one kind of like this one,
Ugh.
but it was bigger and it had reflective paw prints going on it. It doesn't look like they have the reflective kind. I used to love those. And these ones I really like just because they're so much bigger. It doesn't really feel strange buying them. A lot of times people don't even notice. They just think, oh, he probably has a dog.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Do you think most people think that they're in there sizing up collars for themselves? No. They don't. Where's your mother?
Matthew is the youngest of 4 children and lives at home with parents Joe and Terry.
I know for me, I remember as a kid wanting to be a lion or wanting to be the biggest, strongest animal I just saw at the zoo, so I thought maybe some of that type of childhood fantasy stuff was going on.
Big Paul says, this right here is how you know this stems from abuse. The collar is a sign of submission.
In the early beginning. But it wasn't too long after that he started getting into the spirit of a wolf and
Big Paul says, wolves don't leash up, buddy. They don't do it. It's not done. Not in the wolf community.
You know, going in a little deeper. Part of me said, okay, this is the nonsense for the week. You know, next week he'll be into something else. I don't know how serious I took it when he first said it, so it was not a huge shock to the system. As it kept continuing, you get used to the idea, and okay, so my son thinks he's got the spirit of a wolf at first, and now it's a little more than that. As the years go by, you kind of learn to...
Yeah, it's like you kind of, you've gaslit yourself into accepting something that your son just kind of puts out there, because probably for much deeper reasons. It's a little weird. I mean, maybe they did privately, you know, it's just, this is what they're saying for the cameras. But like maybe they did privately, like a little bit more looking into this. Their son also seems like he's very much on the spectrum. I mean, come on now. Amir just followed. Thank you. Hey, what's going on, Amir? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Accept, okay, this is who he is, this is how he deals with it. It's not up to me to like it or not anymore.
Well, we knew from the time he was a baby there was something different about him. In a walker, as a little tiny thing, he would go to the doors because his first obsession was doors. And I mean, it was not like your normal child, spank their hand, say no, and it would be an all-day job to try to keep him out of the cabinet doors.
At the age of 6,
so that means wolf. That means wolf. This kid could not be contained.
Matthew was diagnosed with Asperger's.
He sat and watched.
Oh, no way. No way. No way. You know, my son told me today that he was Batman and that my wife was Barbara Gordon and that I was Commissioner Gordon. So, you know, giving me a lot to think about.
Watched me redo a hard drive once. A couple of hours later, my wife walked in and reloaded all the data and whatever, and he redid the hard drive himself. That was the first time reality really hit me that, okay, we're not just older and don't remember how the other kids were. That was the first time I said, okay, he's going to be different.
Because while we do feel the pull of our Therian sides, and we are raccoon and leopard,
63 Stela song, please. I don't know what that is because I'm an old man and I watch weird internet videos. I am from Turkey. You know what? I will look that up for the end of the stream. I could definitely do that.
Ultimately, we are still human as much as we don't want to admit that. Whatever species we feel we are identified with is not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Just cool bros walking down the street.
In Buffalo lives a small community of Therians who run an amateur radio show. Stephen is one of the hosts.
We're going to...
I was told he was a host in training. I didn't know he was elevated to host status. Thank you very much.
My workplace. It's a little computer repair shop about 15 minutes away. All I do is I get in, fix computers, and interact with customers.
Stephen is an IT technician and keeps his work and private life separate.
I don't really feel like I can be myself at work. I have to put on a very professional attitude and look, and if I do anything that involves Therian, it really breaks the professional side of things. It's very difficult for someone to be themselves and also continue that life. All of normal life is a very strange and abstract feeling. Everything is structured very differently compared to the wilderness.
Stephen believes he is an African leopard and likes to go by his leopard name, which is Shroud. He has strong feline traits.
Ah, yes, the traditional African name of Shroud.
And likes to run and hunt.
Climbing and running and stuff it's very natural. It's very instinctual. So when I'm climbing up a tree or something and I lay down on the branch, it's pretty close to what I remember.
His leopard side is based on a series of intense memories.
When I was little, I had a lot of smaller memories, usually of laying on a tree branch or sitting on a rock and looking out across the savannah. And this was before I even knew what the savannah was, before I'd even seen a photograph or a video.
Yeah, he just had visions. He just knew. He just felt it deep inside. So he got this beanie and stitched these ears onto it before he knew anything.
Internally, I am a human being. I have these hands and this body, but internally, I am a leopard. I have the mannerisms and the behaviors, the thoughts, and the memories of an African leopard. I don't consider myself human at all, other than my body. I see my body as more of a vessel that doesn't match what I really have inside.
Stephen lives in Buffalo, where a small community of Therians have gathered. It is one of the reasons he moved here. Through the internet, he has met hundreds of people who believe that they are also animals. He now lives with one himself, Timothy, a raccoon.
That's my...
How do a leopard and a raccoon coexist? Like, if they're following the rules of the animal kingdom, if this guy thinks he's really a leopard and this guy really thinks he's a raccoon, how could they possibly coexist? That leopard's going to eat that raccoon. Maybe he does. Wink.
A plushie net, stuffed animals, plushies, various stuffed animals I've collected over the years. Some I've had since childhood, some I bought in the past few years.
Timothy is not just a raccoon. He is also Stephen's partner.
We've been together for 4 years.
Almost. Oh God, I'm being hugged. I've known you for 4 years. It hasn't been 4 years since we've been together yet.
Oh yeah, pretty close.
He's like, it took a year before I stuck my dick inside you, leopard. Come on now.
Like
in February.
3 months away?
There's no raccoons in Africa. And I'd imagine that...
Oh yeah, look at this beautiful artwork they have. Oh yeah. They blurred it out. They blurred out the fact this raccoon has a giant heart on. Oh yeah.
In the wild, a raccoon might be prey.
Yeah, we get along just fine. There's no real like predator prey relationship or anything. We're just normal people when it comes to that.
Because while we do feel the pull of our Therian sides, and we are raccoon and leopard, ultimately we are still human, as much as we don't want to admit that half the time. We are still human, so we still, whatever species we feel we are identify with is not too relevant to whether or not we love each other.
Their dream is to one day create a commune for like-minded people.
Big Paul says, oh, so you're saying it's lame sex. Got it. Yeah, they can't even really tear into each other, apparently. This level of self-awareness indicates to me that they actually don't believe what they say.
A safe haven where Therians can live and be together.
The normal ways of living are kind of constraining, and one of the influencing factors of leaving home is so I could be with people who share the same beliefs and culture as me. A lot of people who grow up in highly religious areas are shunned or persecuted or just generally downright looked down upon because of their Therian side, and a lot of them end up fleeing toward better areas with good friends, and that's where they spend their lives.
I did feel long before I found Therian communities. I never had very many friends growing up. I was always viewed as strange for various reasons, mannerisms, the way I talk even, people found to be weird. But finding a group of people who in some way society found strange, they're incredibly accepting people. And I felt immediately at home.
To further connect with his leopard side, Stephen likes spending time in the African section of the local zoo.
Oh my God.
You know, that I remember. That's very recognizable.
Yeah, it's very recognizable to see animals from Africa, not in Africa, and indulging in an environment that's also not anything like Africa. I remember that. I feel it deep inside my Otherkin bones.
It's because when they're on the savannah, they don't actually
He
hide.
spotted us.
Yeah, he spotted your raccoon ass. He wants to eat you, buddy. He said, "What's that? What's that leopard doing with that raccoon?" The proud lion does not agree.
Spotted.
Trauma says, yes, they are accepting because it's a back-rubbing situation. You indulge them, they indulge you.
Hi, kitty.
It's almost like knowing someone in a distant extended family. These gems back here, they were exactly as I remembered them in my memory. The memory of hunting and attacking one of them. It's very weird. It's like killing someone then meeting their family. It's almost awkward. I know it was a separate life or some separate entity or separate connection or something, but it's still very awkward. The past life memories are very real to me. They're as real as all the other memories.
You can't even handle being around what would potentially be food. It's like, this is awkward. They know. I know. I'm going to have to go home and eat a McDouble and jerk off and think of being a leopard.
I have. It's almost unsettling to be here and look at them, but at the same time, it's yet another link, another connection to the inside, and another way to bring the memory back a bit.
The group in Buffalo don't just identify with being animals, they also dress up as them.
Last year, that's like, okay, what's the...
Some wear tails and collars, and
Others do
wear
not.
entire fursuits. It is a subculture within the community called furry.
Oh, wow. This must be an older doc. They don't know what we know.
Month, they meet up
Big
to
Paul says
express
furries.
their animal sides.
It's kind of about taking everything that, like, Therians
It's only
might
a
be
matter
into,
of time.
except furries are more social with it, so we kind of connect more and we hang out and we do fun things. And we act like crazy, and we make other people laugh.
There's a lot of similarities between furry and Therian. It's all about anthropomorphics, which is anything between human and animal. I usually just wear my collar and my tail and sometimes my ears. I just let myself go, let myself be free, and I fit in with the community perfect.
Outside of the community, not everyone is as understanding.
Yeah, we get a lot of strange looks. We're just kind of bizarre and eccentric. Some people want us to stay away because we're different. Some people love our antics, find us hilarious and really cute.
The negative perception is that they just leave us alone and walk away. The positive perception is that they want to know more about it. There's really nobody who directly says anything negative. There's just people who can't. You can tell that they just don't like it, they can't handle it, so they move away.
In Brunswick, Matthew
Yeah.
acts and feels like a wolf. However, this is not enough. Now he is 18. He's making a decision that will affect him for the rest of his life.
I honestly hate that he wants to change his name. He's been talking about this for years.
He's an adult. He can do this without our permission, so it's a battle I can't fight anymore.
Well, I don't know. You might be able to do something. Baller.
In Brunswick, Georgia, Matthew has been waiting for his 18th birthday to fulfill one major wish. It is something that would make him feel truly like an animal.
I haven't liked my name since I was in elementary school, and the reason being, I've just never liked the way it sounded.
Now that Matthew is 18, he has the right to change his name to his wolf name.
This is my signature, well, the one I use whenever I can. When I change my name, I'm going to use it everywhere. That's my paw print, and that says Shiro Ulv right under it. It's actually a mix between Japanese and Norwegian, and it means white wolf.
Yeah, a mix between Japanese and Norwegian. very Animal Kingdom-like. You know what I mean? Like, very Animal Kingdom-like. Travis says, or not everyone lives on the internet. He's going to take wolf hormones?
Despite Matthew's determination, his parents are less enthusiastic. They are concerned
I don't know why.
it could hold him back.
Well, may have a scholarship to Georgia Tech. I'm hoping that changing his name doesn't affect that at all. And I've explained this to him, but, he's an adult. He can do this without our permission. So
Let me cut up your chicken nuggets and your fish sticks, my boy.
it's a battle I can't fight anymore.
You sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
Better be thinking ahead because you're going to need to have a birth certificate. If that name is going on your college application, you're going to have the birth certificate match it. You're going to have to send off for one. I honestly hate that he wants to change his name. He's been talking about this for years.
Yeah, I filled in my forms for my name change.
So do you have a middle name?
Yeah.
What?
Themian.
Themian?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Believe it or not, it doesn't mean anything. It's literally a name that came to me.
In a dream. It came to me in a dream. Travis says, my parents had reservations when I was going to change my name to Yosef Amin Goebbels. But did I let that stop me? I think not. Big Paul says, a battle I can't fight anymore. Translation, goddammit. I can't wait till he's out of the fucking house.
Like in my head.
The name sounds so strange. White Fang was a better name to me because at least it was something I heard of, which was a wolf story when I was a kid.
And it's really straightforward, it even says on all the legal sites, unless you're changing your name to a number or something obscene, they never get rejected.
He asked, would I be okay with him changing his name? And I said, I can't stop you. I guess I can live with it, but no, I don't like it.
Today is a defining moment for Matthew.
I'm feeling excited, I'm finally doing this, we're here. It's very exciting. It means I'm a wolf, officially.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It just means you changed your name. It doesn't mean you're a wolf. Oh, my God.
Despite his parents' worries, he is adamant that this is the right thing for him.
Honestly, I just feel bad for this kid. I just feel bad for this kid. And I feel bad for his parents. Like, what the fuck do you do in that situation? What do you do? Where do you track back your failure as a parent? Where do you track it back to? How long did this go on? How long did you indulge in a fantasy so that he wouldn't feel bad about himself? Worthy questions. Worthy questions. Travis says it's kind of sad. Yes. No, it really is. It's sad for everyone involved.
Yes, I finally got it done. I have my forms right here that I need to bring to the newspaper, and everything else is done.
In order to make the process legal, Matthew must finally submit a request to the local paper.
Hi, how are you? I'm submitting the form to change my name from Matthew Schimmel to Shira Wolf.
Yeah, see if you like.
Okay.
Hold on, you want to change your name to what? To what? Is this a paw print?
I truly believe that names have a lot of effect on things, even though you try not to be. You get preconceived ideas. You hear some names and you think, oh, must be kind of nerdy. But then
Oh, he must be black. Oh, he must be Chinese.
you hear Shiro and you think, what is that? I mean, you can't even put like a nationality or anything with that to me.
Shiro is S-H-I-R-O.
Yes.
And
I told him I'd be okay with it, but yeah, it really bothers me. But,
Yeah, why wouldn't it bother you? That's your legacy. That's your child. That's the proliferation of your own last name. Of course it should bother you.
The ultimate goal is his happiness.
What is happiness? What is happiness, and how far are you willing to take that? What is actual happiness? And have you done him a favor? Or did you set him back? What a fucking awful position to be put in. What an awful fucking position to be put in.
I don't say anything because they believe that this is okay, but I think they're going to find out on their own that things can become very, very complicated.
We don't care.
Yeah, see, she knows. She knows. She's like, this is probably not going to end well for them. Once you get out there in the real world, people are not gonna cater to this kind of bullshit. So what are you doing, Mom? Why would you fucking set them up for failure? But then at the same time, like, what the fuck do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What the fuck do you do? I really don't know. I don't have a good answer.
As long as we are happy with each other, that's all that matters.
We just do our own thing.
In Buffalo, New York, live a small community of people who believe that in some way they are an animal. They live together, hang out together, and have formed close relationships with each other.
Trami says you're fucked, basically. It does kind of seem like that. You're in an impossible position. If you can't get through to them with some sort of rational argument, I don't know. I don't know what you do. This poor bastard right here, sucked into the orbit of the raccoon and the African leopard.
Caleb, Stephen, and Timothy have fully immersed themselves within this community.
Because that's what they do. They encourage each other. They indulge each other in a way that nobody else does in their fantasies.
And their relationship together is not conventional.
When I first met these guys, me and Shroud really hit it off, and we had a connection, and we were never limited in that connection because you were so graceful and just everybody being together. And then we kind of ended up realizing...
Oh, so this is a fuck party. This is a fuck train. A bunch of gay kids just fucking each other. That's what this is. Oh, okay. Well, something has been elucidated.
Realizing that all three of us is what really made the environment, and when it was just me and him, it wasn't really, as fun to be around each other.
They are in an open, polyamorous relationship.
Yep.
Meaning that they can have multiple partners, whilst also being together.
I've never really been the monogamous type. I've been in monogamous relationships before, but each and every one of them was destroyed by jealousy. Stupid, petty jealousy. And then I got into a relationship that was more open on my then boyfriend's side. He was very open, very, very polyamorous.
Yeah, my then boyfriend's side, he decided like, oh well, he wanted to fuck other people, and I had in the past, I had dealt with jealousy, and that's what's ruined all those relationships, all these fucking young hormonal relationships. So obviously, like, if he wants to fuck this other dude, he's an African leopard, okay? He doesn't have the mind of a raccoon. He doesn't have the mind of a raccoon. African leopards, sometimes they want to be with wolves. They want to be with wolves.
And he pried it out of me. And the more and more he...
Oh, he pried it out of you, huh? He pried out the polyamorous nature. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, you poor fucking raccoon. You poor son of a bitch.
Showed me it, the more and more I realized, like, oh, I don't have to be jealous because there's nothing here to be jealous about.
It's something that works for us. It's not something that works for everybody. There's no way it ever will.
Exactly.
It's just something that solved the problem for us. And we've worked with it for years.
As far as how it developed between us, it's just obviously we shared similar viewpoints, similar...
Travis says, male leopards aren't social animals either, are they? Big Paul says, sounds like someone is bad at clenching. M. Duffy, I'm back, baby. Fill me in. Well, fill you in. These guys are filling each other. That's what's going on.
Similar spirituality, similar philosophies on life, and we just kind of meshed, and since we weren't limiting ourselves, since I wasn't saying, Shroud's mine, you can't have him, it just kind of developed. Just like any other relationship. If anything, we think it's just a pile of people having sex. No, there's love, damn it. If sex happens, it happens, but there's love. We can be with other people, we have other relationships, we have other partners. It can get complex, it can be simple, it can be whatever.
But I guess what the idea behind our relationship especially is no matter what culture will say a relationship is or isn't, or how it should.
Travis says, shit, making the same jokes. Too much Nightcap. Yeah, I think we're all on the same wavelength.
Should or shouldn't be, what's acceptable or what's not, we don't care. As long as we are happy with each other, that's all that matters.
We just do our own thing.
I see in the furry community, they boast about, you know, having the polyamorous, but it really ends up being a lot more complicated than they think, and there's been a lot of hurt. I've seen Caleb in relationships and out of relationships, and I see them struggle with it, and there's a lot of drama to it because they're young people.
No shit.
But I don't say anything because they believe that this is okay. But I think they're going to find out on their own that things can become very, very complicated.
It's okay to be a voice. It's okay to be a voice of reason. You can there's gradations. There's ways to do it where you can say, like, listen, this is not gonna be easy. This is gonna be this even could be painful for you. Well, you know what I'm saying, but it could be painful for you emotionally. It's okay to, like, as a parent, give advice to guard against that. You don't need to indulge them and be like, oh, they'll figure it out on their own. Everybody figures a lot of things out on their own. That does not, like, mean that you don't have a responsibility as the adult in the room to fucking say something.
Wolf couple Ben and Kimberly live on a farm in West Sussex in England. They live with Ben's mum, Sue, who is only now discovering about the couple's animal side.
I mean, obviously...
How long have they lived with Ben's mum?
This is all very new to me, but, I mean, so when did you start having these feelings?
When I was 3... I wanted to be like Wolverine.
As early as Kim, or later, or earlier?
Thinking about it, probably a little bit earlier, before Kim, but not really realising what it was at the time. I just kind of pushed it all back and forgot about it.
What did you think it was? I mean, what?
I had absolutely no idea. And your brain doesn't really kind of comprehend things like that. It just ignores it and kind of copes with it.
These people are so desperate for validation that they agreed to be on a television show, on a documentary about their disorder. Like, that's how delusional they are about what they're doing. It reminds me of the zoophiles. The zoophiles, right? The animal passions people. Like, so delusional, thinking they're doing something good. They're educating people. They're educating communities about this disposition, about this way of life. Trami says, Ben's mom was so lonely after the husband passed away that she was okay with anything. Big Paul says, their British accents make it sound worse. It makes it seem like so much like distant and colder. Oh, when did you start thinking about this, mate?
And then when I was around Kim, she was doing much the same things. I thought, well, that must have been something.
Yeah.
And then those feelings start cropping up again. Then kind of becomes very evident that there's a reason for it, as opposed to you're just going crazy.
If I had those feelings,
you may be going crazy.
Wouldn't say to me that somebody else was driving me. What makes you think it is this inner spirit within you?
I can hear it. I can feel it. I just know it's there. It's like...
Yeah, while we have this perfectly civil meal, eating food like a human being, let me tell you something. If I had my way, I'd be ripping into those goats. I'd be ripping into those cows with my wolf-like fangs. With my instincts, I'd be out on the hunt. If you hadn't made me my dinner, Mom, oh boy, the countryside... Watch out. Watch out.
See it?
It's faith.
Do you see it? Well, yeah.
Take
I mean, you
it
talk
like
about
that.
faith. I mean, I have faith, but I don't ever feel that I have somebody speaking to me. But you are convinced that it is a spirit, and a spirit within you, as opposed to just you having these feelings.
It's exactly the same, just I don't voice it as much as everyone else does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to understand it, sweet, that's all.
It's a very difficult thing to try and explain. You've just got to take it on good faith, really.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're a lie. I'm just trying to understand it, really. You know, or it's not an easy thing to understand, obviously.
It's weird though, because it's so normal for us now.
Well, yeah. Obviously, a lot of people would not think it were normal.
Oh yeah, but
Travis says, "Power to her asking questions. I mean, actual questions. Yeah, she's trying to." I don't even know if she's trying to understand or doing like sort of that Socratic method of questioning, trying to get them to see things from her perspective and maybe come to a conclusion. So many times with people like this, you got to convince them that it's their idea. It's their idea.
I'm not saying all of my friends, but a lot of my cattle friends would think that completely bizarre. And they wouldn't even look any further than, you know, that the pair of them would need help.
For many Therians and Otherkin, believing something that nobody else can see creates its own unique problems.
It's very annoying that other people can't see how I feel, not just on a Therian level, in general. I think and feel so differently from most people and they don't really understand it.
Finding the community, I think, was the first time I ever had friends who were like me, people who wanted to do the same things as me, people who want...
You mean group gay sex? You had to become an Otherkin to hook up with two dudes at the same time?
Wanted to communicate the same way as me, people who were just interested in the same facets of life.
it's not something that we choose. It's something that you're born with. Essentially, you discover.
Oh my God!
As you get older, it's something that you discover that it's a part of yourself.
I feel very different. I feel extremely different. I feel like I just don't belong with the crowd.
I don't know how to explain how I feel. I know I'm different, and I'm making no attempt to change it. I mean, a lot of people are different, but, you know, I just like who I am, you know.
And there you have it, everybody. Well, I think that's about a stream. If you want to catch the replay of this, check out our Odyssey channel. It's going to be on Odyssey. It's going to be super fun, super cool. So if you missed any of the hot action, the hot mermaid, hot Otherkin action, that's where you'll be able to find it. And we'll talk to you next time. Good night. Adios.
Creature